Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Now we are going to start with the discussion of the very short question answers based on this unit 8 of class 12 sociology. Here the first question they have asked, what is education? So we need to define the meaning of this education. We can say that education is the transmission of knowledge and skills. Transmission of knowledge and skills from one generation to another generation. Second one they have asked, what is the basic function of education? How education is helping us? So we can say it is helping to maintain or sustain society, which is further leading to the development or the growth of the society. Next they have asked, give the full form of SSA. So that is serve. S stand for serve, another is Shiksha, A stands for Abhiyan. That is the part of elementary education initiated by the government, according to which all the children up to the age of 14 years are going to get the education, free and compulsory education. Question number 4, they have asked, what is meant by mass media? So we need to define the term mass media, which means the media such as which include radio, television, print and film. So we can include both print as well as electronic media in it to communicate to a large number of people. This mass media includes the print media as well as the electronic media, which is used to communicate to a large number of people. The next is, what is meant by mass? Here if we define the term mass, it means the large number of people, or a cross section of the population. The next one they have asked, what is media? So if we define media, we can say that these are the means of communication as the press, radio, which in the press if we talk about both newspaper and magazines, the print media is going to be there. Beside that, radio, television, films, computer, networks and so on. All the things are going to be included in this media. They have asked, list any 2 negative effects of mass media. So the first one we can say that it leads to escapism, which does not allow the people to face the reality, and somewhere they are depressed and in tension. And the second one if we talk about, it distracts people from serious matters of the life. Serious matters of life. Next they have asked, when was Akashvani broadcasting started? So we need to mention the year that it was started after independence in 1957. What is meant by audio-visual media? So we need to define the meaning of this audio-visual media, which provide facilities to communicate in both the forms, that is audio as well as video, like computer and television, etc. Another one, what is the full form of PTI? So the full form of PTI is, we have to mention, P stand for press, T trust of India. Question number 11, they have asked, give the full form of UNI. So UNI stands for United News of India. What do the print media mean? So how we are going to define this term print media? We can say that print media is the mode of communication, the mode of information provided to the people through print materials, like it can include newspaper, magazines, it can include newspaper, magazine, journals, etc. Which is the oldest existing newspaper in India if we talk about? So we need to mention the oldest existing newspaper in India is Bombay Samachar, a Gujarati daily, published from Mumbai since 1822. This is one of the oldest newspaper in India. Another one they have asked, which is the largest terrestrial television network in the world? If we talk about, we need to mention the name of that is Doordarshan. DD we call it. Doordarshan is the national television of India and one of the largest terrestrial network in the world. Beside that, they have asked question number 15, what does the following stands for? So we have to give the full form of all these, and these are the year mentioned in which particular year these full forms or these abbreviations were earlier asked in exam. The first one we are taking RNI. RNI, if we talk about, it stands for registrar. It stands for Register of Newspaper in India. Second, PTI we have already discussed, that is Press Trust of India. Next, UNI also we have discussed, United News of India. Then DD stands for Doordarshan. AIR stands for All India Radio. Next is CBFC. CBFC stands for Central Board of Film Certificate. Next is IGNOU. So we need to give the full form of IGNOU also, that stands for Indira Gandhi National Open University. FM, here we can say it is related to radio, the frequency of the radio here we talk about. So it stands for frequency modulation. So hopefully all these short question answers are clear to each and everyone, and whenever we are giving short answers, either it should be one word or one liner. Now the next we are moving to short question answers here. The first one they have asked that what is the relationship between culture and education? So we need to mention that obviously there is a close relation between the culture and education. Education is the process. Then we have to define that what actually education is. Education we can say is the process through which the culture of the society is being transmitted from younger generation to the next generation. And culture, if we talk about, we can say it is the way of life that we find in society. So these are transmitted. If we talk about it, these culture can include knowledge, beliefs, ideas, attitude and so many other things. And these are also transmitted to the younger generation through the process of education. So both education and culture are interconnected with each other, and both are related to each other, and how one is helping the other to grow. So in this way you need to explain this answer. Firstly you will give the meaning of both the term, and then you will give the examples, and then you will elaborate that how both are interconnected and how they are helping each other. Next one, discuss education as an agent of social change. How education is playing an important role in bringing the change in our society. So we can say that we understand that education is always considered as an agent of social change, since it engages itself in much more positive actions, and it performs the functions of initiating of change, or bringing the change in the society. Here we can say education also acts as the instrument of modernization, because it includes the different values, like the value, like if we talk about the different values like equality, liberty, we can say scientific temper and different innovative ideas also. And without education, if we talk about, any kind of social, economic or political spheres cannot be without education. If we talk about any sphere of life, like if it is a social, economic or political, these cannot be instilled with the change in any form or any kind of society. Means until and unless we are not giving importance to education, we cannot expect any change in our society. Because of education only, all the spheres of the society are going to get developed, are going to get growth, and then it will lead to the change in our society. The next one they have asked, discuss briefly the changes brought about in the Indian education system during the British rule. So we have to discuss that before that, how the education was transmitted. It was transmitted through the family members, through kin groups or society as a whole, through the participation in daily activities of life. Here if we talk about the formal system of education, basically begin with the Brahmins, the high caste group of Hindus. They acted as a formal teachers, and at the time teaching centers were called Gurukuls or Vidyalayas. But one problem was there with this kind of system. If we talk about, only the high class people were getting access to that. The low class people were not having the access to education by that time. Modern education system, if we talk about, it was introduced by Britishers in India. Initially, they tried to modify our traditional education system, but later on they realized and they initiated with the new ideas in the education system, and that's why English language was introduced as the medium of instructions, and the many schools and colleges and the other institutes were also opened up by Britishers. What were the positive point in the education introduced by Britishers? So we can say that it gave fundamentally different orientation to the educational system. The total base of that education system was changed, where each and every member of the society, if we talk about whether it is a higher group or belonging to high society or low group, all were getting the access. Here the education system introduced by them, its content was liberal as well as modern. Means it was opened up to new ideas. It was opened up to ideas of equality, liberty and others. And they also introduced the different branches of teaching. For example, we can say the science and technology, medicines were also introduced. The structure of education was developed on professional lines instead of following the traditional method of informal system. It also classified educational institute into different categories like primary school, high school, college and other higher universities. So this was the structure of Britishers, this was the structure of education during British rule, we can say. So we need to mention all these points. Clear? Next, they have asked what are the functions of mass media. Here if we talk about, we need to mention that how mass media helping in society, how it is helping an individual. So we can say that it provides information, it entertains the people and it lends a hand in maintaining the cultural continuity also. So these three main points you can mention. Highlight the distinction between print media and audio visual media. So simply we have to give the difference between these two. We can define here that how print media is in printable form and this audio visual media. The examples also we have to give, like here we can give the newspaper, journals, magazines. Here in audio visual, television, computers, all these examples can be given. So you need to distinguish between the two. Next, what are the advantages of mass media? So we have to mention what are the positive points included in mass media. Firstly, we can say that mass media helps in giving or providing the information to the masses. Secondly, it is a good platform for entertainment also. Thirdly, we can say it is playing an increasing role in socialization of young. They are able to interact with each other through this social media platform also. Thirdly, we can say that it is helping in maintaining a cultural continuity in any of the society. Now the next they have asked, what are the negative effects of mass media? So while we are talking about, if the question is being given, what are the impacts of mass media, in that case you have to write down both positive as well as negative impact. But when specifically it is given as advantage, so only the positive point you are supposed to write, and when it is given negative, so in that case only the negative points will be mentioned. So in this question number 7, they are asking, mention the negative impacts of mass media. So first one, we can discuss that it encourages escapism. Secondly, it leads to distraction of the mind of people from the main or from the serious matters of life. We can also say that it kills individual taste, and it sometimes leads to bringing change in the cultural identity of an individual. Then we can say it uses female genders to sell products. It presents a false picture of reality. So all these are the negative points which are influencing the mind of people, youth or the children, which is bringing the negative changes in our society. Question number 8, they have asked, what are the cultural dimensions of globalization? So here if we talk about the cultural dimension of globalization, we can say it is a set of process which helps to interconnect individual groups as well as the different communities. And here if we talk about, due to the impact of globalization, what is happening, the people are able to interact with each other. The one country people are able to interact with the people of the other country, and which are bringing the different changes in their culture as well as identity. Transcontinental and transitional new linkage are established in these cultural terms. We can say that how this transcontinental transmission is taking place, this transformation is taking place, which is somewhere the positive impacts are there and somewhere we can see the negative impacts could be seen. Question number 9, they have asked, what is meant by the term local culture? So local culture, we understand that every society have its own specific culture with their own specific features in that. Regional difference do occur within the society also. For example, if we notice several streams within Indian culture located in different region, there are different traditions also within a single cultural region if we talk about, and what we are calling it as a subculture. And these subcultures that we call, that some of the socialists have called it as local culture. After the discussion of these short question answers, now we are going to do discussion over essay type questions. Again, these are the long question answers type. Whenever you are going to attempt it, you need to give the answer in details with intro and conclusion. Intro must be there in the beginning and conclusion must be there at the end. Each and every point you have to write down, and then you need to explain that point, whatever being asked according to the question. The question number first, they have asked, discuss the role of education in bringing about social change in India. So here the main point what you are going to discuss, firstly you will mention that what was the scenario of education in India, little bit intro you will give before independence, and then you will mention how the initiative was started or initiative was taken by the Britishers and these changes were brought, and then mainly you are going to talk about after independence how the national education policy was formulated to bring the change in the society, and what were the main aims of that particular policy in India, in which you can also mention that special emphasis were given to the empowerment of women and to provide the equal opportunity of education to girl child. Then question number 2, they have asked, discuss briefly the changes brought about in Indian education system during the British rule. In short, we have already discussed this answer. So now those points here you need to explain in detail. You need to give the points and then you have to explain it. Here they have asked, discuss the impact of media in bringing about the social change. So we have already discussed in short question answers that what were the impact of the positive impact or the advantages of media and what were the negative impacts of media. So here they have asked impact of media. So both positive, all the points of that positive as well as negative impact will be considered here. Here if we talk about positive impact, you will mention that how it helps to give the information, how it's the platform of entertainment and how it is helping to keep the cultural continuity. So all these points are going to be there in the positive one, but you need to give the headings and the explanation. Same way we are talking about the negative impact, you have to mention that how it leads to escapism, how it distracts the mind of the people from the real matter of the life, from the serious matters of the life. So all these points will be there with the heading and the explanation. The next, they are asking the impact of mass media on culture change. So here they are asking about the effect of that mass media, but that is on culture change, how it is affecting our culture. So firstly we will give the intro that how that every society have their own culture with their distinct feature in it and regional differences do occur in any of the society. Then we are going to discuss that how these changes are taking place nowadays. The changes are very well significantly visible in the mode of consumption, style of dress, use of synthetic material and so many other things. Changes are taking place in music also, dance, different cultural performance, art form or regional cultural traits. Globalization also you can mention here that how it has increased the real as well as the perceived threats to the local and the smaller cultural identities. So this way we have to show that because of this mass media only this impact or the threat is there to the individual identity of threat to the cultural identity of an region. Question number 5, they have asked how does mass media lead to development and change in the society. Here firstly we can define the meaning of the mass media, that what actually mass media it is the means of communication as it includes the press, radio, television and the other modes. It has been playing a very important role in bringing the social change in any of the society. Then we can talk about the how it leads to development and bring change. So here we have to talk about only the positive changes that we have already discussed in previous questions because they are talking about the development. So always make sure that firstly whenever you are attempting the answer, make sure that you are able to understand the question first and then only you would be able to continue with the answer. Clear? So only the positive changes you need to mention, that how it is helping to give information to the masses, how it is helping, beside that it is also helping in maintaining the cultural identity or the cultural continuity. Question number 6, they have asked what is mass media. The same way you are going to explain the meaning of mass media and then you have to list any 5 negative effects of mass media. So here many we have already discussed, some more you can mention here, that after giving the meaning of this term mass media you have to mention all the negative impacts like the how it is encouraging escapism, how it is distracting the mind of people, how it kills the individual taste, how it is using only the female gender to sell their products, and you can also say that how they are showing the false picture which is away from the reality. So all these are going to be the negative effects of mass media. Question number 7, if we talk about, they have asked what is globalization, and the second part of that they have asked highlight the changes that have taken place in culture in the context of globalization. Clear? So 2 parts are there in this question. The first is globalization. We need to define the meaning of that. So how we can define? We can say that globalization refers to the expansion of global linkage where the countries are able to interact with each other at a global level, and that could be for the purpose of trade, for other opportunities which are available in the society. Then we can say that globalization is also helping in the interaction of individual communities as well as the different groups. We have to highlight, in the second part of the question, we have to highlight the changes that have taken place in the culture in the context of globalization. So all those points that how it has affected the local, because we know that every region have their own local culture with the distinct features in that. So how this globalization is affecting that, as it is considering the whole world as a single system. And that impact of globalization could be seen that how the dress style, the consumption, the food style and all such kind of things are changing day by day. So hopefully all these question answers are clear. These are the detailed essay type question answers which you have to give with intro, and at the end you have to do the conclusion, and each and every point must be written clearly and need to define it. Next, we are moving to these higher order thinking skills question, that is HOTS, and the problem solving assessment, PSA. The question number 1 they have asked, quality education is an important actor towards desirable change. How far is the statement true in the context of Naga society? So in context of Naga society, we have to understand this and we need to elaborate the statement that how quality education can help in bringing the desirable changes in our society, in bringing the desirable changes in Naga society. So here we can mention that education no doubt is one of the most important means to improve personal endowments as well as build capabilities and overcome the situation, overcome the constraints or different restrictions which are coming in the process. Here we can say the process of education and attainments have an important impact on the life of the people. And if we talk about especially of Naga society, so the quality education has helped them to bring the positive change. Although these change could be seen in the different spheres of an individual, but somewhere it is bringing the sense of development among the people of Nagaland. It reflects the importance of education in influencing the social well-being of individual, because there the people are able to interact with each other, they are able to communicate with each other, able to share their ideas, their viewpoint and the knowledge with each other, which is helping them to grow, which is helping them towards, or which is helping them to take towards the success or the growth of their society. Question number 2, based on that PSA and HOTS question, they have asked, is social media contributing positively or negatively towards the social change? If yes, how? If no, why? So we know very well when we are talking about this social media, so both kind of impact could be seen. At one place we can say that yes, positive impacts are there, as youth are getting a platform to interact with each other where they are sharing their values, their viewpoints or their ideas, innovative ideas if we talk about, with each other. And the groups are able to interact with the other groups, the individuals are able to interact with other, same with the different communities are able to interact with each other. Negative impact also if we talk about, so somewhere it is taking individuals away from the reality. It is not providing them that encouragement to face the reality of the life, because media, if we talk about, is exaggerating the things which is beyond the reality, and somewhere it is trying to influence the mind of people, and many of the youth, if we talk about, they are not able to accept the truth of that reality in their life. When they get to know it that this is not the reality, so it is very difficult for them sometime to face the situation in real life. So somewhere we can say that these are the some negative impact of social media, where they are not able to interact with the other people, because the problem is when they are getting to know about the reality, they don't have that much courage to face that. Many times it happens that they are getting distracted from the main issues or the main matters of the lives. It is killing the individual taste. So we have to mention all the positive point as well as the negative point here, and we have to give the reasons also, that how we can say that it is the positive points and which are bringing the change in the society. And here we can mention when we are saying that negative points are also there and which can adversely affect the life of the people in any of the society.